Welcome to episode 160 of The Endless Stream. I'm Aidan, and this week I am joined by Kevin. We are two artists, illustrators, filmmakers, and all-round shit talkers, and each week we take some of the endless stream of content brought to you through Netflix, Hulu, Disney+, Spotify, Amazon Prime. Wherever you get your content, we take a chunk of it, we watch it, and we talk about it. This week we are talking about Donald Trump getting shot at. We're talking about the Labour government. We're talking about DIY scenarios. We're talking about X-Men. We're talking about a wide range of nonsenses that happened in the world this week. If you like what you hear, please consider subscribing to the podcast, heading over to Spotify, heading over to iTunes, rating, reviewing, liking, subscribing. All of these good things really help us out. On top of that, you can head over to Instagram after The Endless Cast, where we put up art and clips to go with each episode. That's a great place to send us a message. Disagree with our opinions? Suggest something for us to watch. Or you can send us an email at theendlesscast@gmail.com. All of that being said, let's get into the episode. Where to start? I don't think we set a piece of infrastructural homework for this episode, right? We didn't say we're going to watch this.
Didn't. I tried.
You tried? You tried to define something?
Well, I tried to discuss it with you on numerous occasions and you ignored me.
Right. Well, I am a bit like that. You know? I am a bit like that. It does seem to be my thing.
Yes,
right?
yes.
Just being a shit.
Just being a shit. No, you're a great person.
Yeah, just being a shit.
You're a great person. I love you dearly.
We had a... Go on.
Did I see you this week? No. Okay.
No, I don't think so.
I don't think so. It was last week.
It was last week. Yeah, I mean, like... So... I can give you my life update.
This is it.
My life updates are as such.
Yes, fire.
First of all, I'm prepping for the Bag of Cats Summer Holiday Comedy Show, which is happening this Friday the 19th. But as I say that, I realise that we've got one episode stacked. So this episode is going to come out on the 22nd. So never mind. The Bag of Cats Comedy Show happened on Friday the 19th, and it was great fun. And everyone should keep an eye out for the next one again.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes. Where was it?
Where was it? It was at the Pierce
I remember.
Centre. That being said, I sent them an email. Going, yep, great, we'll confirm that with you. And then I never got a response. So I was like, is it on? And of course, we've just been down to visit our good friend Brian and wished him a happy birthday.
Yes.
We had a blast in Cork.
We did. It was great to catch up with everybody.
He gave us a tour of the town. You know, it's his 40th in Cork City. It was his 40th in Cork City. It was a hell of a blowout. There was drinks, there was food, there was dancing. I spent the week.
Back to reality now.
I spent the week.
Back to present day.
Breaking up my months sitting in my office applying for jobs, trying to work, trying to write, trying to illustrate, just trying to do things that felt productive. I decided that I need to not sit in this room anymore. And I had a little... it's funny to frame it as a bit of a breakdown, but it's like I needed a holiday from the desk. And I looked at our kitchen. And what we had was a water pipe. Now, it's the kind of thing that's in your house the entirety of your life and you don't really think about it. But there was an old pipe just running across the wall at like a 30-degree angle down behind the cabinets. And there started to be a leak above in the corner sink coming out of the wall, just a little trickle of water. And it happened. We tried to plug it, we tried to block it, we tried to get a plumber. It took us a week and a half, 2 weeks to get a plumber. At which point this drizzle of water had worn away the plaster behind the board, or behind the paint. So there's just this like gully. And it turns out that pipe is the fresh water pipe that gets the drinking water, mains water, into the kitchen. And I was like, I didn't realize it came from there. And it also raised the question, why is it cutting a 30-degree angle from the ceiling to like the wall like that and going behind the cabinets? And we figured out that it runs behind the cornicing in the top corner of the the room. I don't know if your house has it, but if you look at the top of your roof, I guess, where the ceiling hits the wall, often there's like a little 30-degree curve, or sorry, 45-degree curve, or like just a little piece of detailing, plaster detailing,
Like,
that just softens the room.
oh, like kind of like as in, yeah, show me.
Can you see up
Yes. Okay. You have that. I don't have that in parts of my house, but there's a lip somewhere that I'm concerned about, but for other reasons.
Right. Well, like that stuff just goes up in 8-foot lumps, you know, or 7-foot lumps. I don't know. But you just lose on. But the water pipe was running behind that, and I'm like, well, why the fuck wasn't the water pipe running behind that, where it cuts across the kitchen like that? And it turns out, I don't know, they'd run out of pipe. They'd been too lazy to bend it appropriately, but it just was there my whole life. So once we got that patch in, and then once I'd spent 8 months applying for jobs and losing my mind, I went, you know what I'll do? I'll replace that pipe and I'll square it away neatly, and then I can put a length of coving up and cover it. And that'll be a quick and simple and easy job.
As all DIY jobs are quick and easy.
As all DIY jobs are. And, you know, to be fair, it was a relatively easy process. You know, you bought a little length of copper pipe, little €8 copper pipe cutter, pipe bender. That was a bit more expensive, but now I have a pipe bender. And get some fittings that we know work, and it's great. While I was up there, though, I started like picking at the like wet plaster and the damaged plaster and the paint, and it just started coming away. And it's like I could have left well enough be, but I ended up.
Well, it's you, so
pulling.
definitely not.
Exactly. So I ended up pulling 6 square feet of plaster off the walls and just taking it away in chunks and pulling the paint away, because the paint got damp and separated from the wall as well. And suddenly that whole entrance and front wall of the kitchen was just bare brick, and I needed to replaster the wall.
And did you?
Well, plastering, it's a slow process when you do it right, or the way I do it anyway. Yes, yeah, we're getting there. It's but the thing is, once I replastered the wall, I was like, oh well, I'm fucking around in this corner and the front door's all chipped, and there's an alarm box, like the little sensor, but there's like also 4 other sensors from past alarms in the last 40 years, so I take them off, and then there's patches on those, and there's like, our doorbell is this like ratty old 30-year cable that like hangs off the door, and as you open and close it, it sort of stretches.
Oh yeah, I know the type.
Make it. So then I had to like, I cut that, and it's like, right, well, I need a new doorbell, and I've pulled all these paint patches off, and the hinges are caked up with fucking paint. So I ended up fighting every screw in that door to get the door off its hinges and flat, and then I went and rented a sander. And then I took a top layer of sand off of the sander. Then I went at it with a plane and took a lot of it off. Got not back to bare wood, but in places. And then I used wire wool and paint stripper and a wire brush, and brought the hinges and the bolts back to nothing, or back to base metal. And while I was doing that, then I was looking at the TV in the kitchen. And the TV in the kitchen has Sky Digital on it. Like, my mother sits there watching the news or whatever. But the feed is coming from the digital box in our living room.
Mm-hmm.
So the cable comes out the wall in the living room to the exterior of the building. And you'd imagine it just comes in through the kitchen. But no, it runs 2 stories up into my mother's bedroom, into a junction box where it switches to a coaxial cable from the old antenna on the ceiling, or the roof, and then comes back out the front of the house and is pinned down the side of the building again, and comes in the front window of the kitchen before snaking along the skirting board of the entire kitchen to the wall closest to the living room. So I decided to drill a hole in the wall. Now, bearing in mind the plaster, the door, and we're now on to our third thing.
Who did all this work originally in your house?
Oh, who knows?
Okay.
My father, various handymen throughout the years.
Your father was probably pretty handy, was he? Consider it.
He
Yeah,
was,
yeah.
yeah. Yeah, I mean, the reason I'm able to do any of this is, you know, he showed me how
Yeah.
to, you know what I mean? And made me not afraid of it. Like, I'm not afraid of cutting a pipe. I know to go turn the mains off. I know to drain it out, you know,
Yeah,
like
fair.
little things. But I went and I bought a drill bit. And I'm like, it's 22 inches long. It's a big fucker of a drill bit. And I was like, well, this will get through the wall. And then my power drill is like a battery drill. It wasn't strong enough to put it through the wall. So it was just more a screwdriver with a drill function. It wasn't really up to drilling through masonry. So off I went to Chadwick's to hire a power drill. Come back, and me and my brother drilled through the wall. And as we were drilling, and as the bit went further and further into the wall, we were like, we're not getting through the wall. Are we drilling into the wall between the kitchen and the living room, and we're just going straight into like 12 feet of wall, so we're not seeing it? And my brother went and he had to do a little like a stud finder, metal detector thing, and we just started tapping around, and we found the drill bit, and we are at full 22 inches.
Oh my God.
Like ball depth, driven in, you know, just it's driven home, and I've got no more inches. And we're not through. But the metal detector's like, it's right there. So we trusted the metal detector and drilled in from the opposite side, and we met it. But like, bought a 22-inch drill bit and found out that the wall is 23, 24 inches. Like, when I went to rent the drill, I said, I'm trying to drill through a wall. The guy went to get a bit, and he pulled like an 8 to 12-inch bit off the wall. And I was like, right, I have over-egged this. I did not need this. Like, he went for what he felt was appropriate, and I then felt like an idiot for having bought a 2-foot fucker. And no, I needed it. I needed that full fucking so I've got that. That's done, but now the cable's hanging off by the side of the house, so I need to figure out how to get that down. And I also need to finish the door. And I also, like, once I got onto the door, it's like, well, the letterbox, a nice brass letterbox. I better go get this polished up. Oh, the spring's gone. How do I get a new spring?
This all started because you were changing a pipe.
Because I'm changing a 3-foot, 4-foot length of pipe. I'm so tired, and my entire house is dusty. And don't feel sorry for me. This is hilarious. There is a slight idea that I think I've talked about the idea that the central heating in this place needs to be done, and I think I'd like it if we pulled the plumbing out ourselves. I don't think I can replumb the place for the central heating. Also, I kind of 100% do think I could do that, but I just want to trust a professional for installation. You know, if a leak happens with the central heating system, better a professional have had installed it. You know?
Of course.
But I can pull the fucking stuff out. I can drain this system, and I can get a fucking metal saw and go to town pulling out radiators and
I think do as much of the work as you can, and then get the plumber in to actually do the sign off. You know, the work and the sign off, whatever.
Yeah, I think that would be, at the very least, I think it would make a TikTok.
That's something.
Yeah, isn't that what life is?
That's what life is.
Content,
man. I don't even tattoo. I create content. I'm not a tattoo.
Well,
I'm not a tattoo artist. I'm a content creator.
You're a content creator. Yeah.
I'll fight anybody.
Yeah.
I don't even have life experiences anymore. It's just more content.
Yeah. I've been calling it on-tent because you put it on people's body.
I hate that.
You hate that?
Rework it. Come back to me next year.
Okay.
You
next
have
year.
365 days exactly.
Oh shit. So that has been my week. I have I opened my emails last night for the first time, and it was just like, look at all these job rejections.
Oh.
Which was, that's fine.
That's fine. That's those places' losses.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, let's say that.
Yeah. I think the animation industry might be dead.
It might be.
It isn't, but it's like.
But if it is, it's because of the people in charge.
It isn't dead. The same people that have worked are working, and there's still projects coming in. It's just the drastic expansion is less, and like I think there's probably less stuff. Like when I see these, like the animation industry is dead posts, they're generally talking about feature films that have been cancelled at Netflix and Prime and things like that. Like the shit that's happening in Ireland is still the same shit. Like I'm not getting those jobs. Gerbs.
Well, the ESRI are forecasting real wage growth over the next few years. That means people will generally have more money and inflation will be down. So, more jobs, maybe?
Really?
Yeah.
So that's been my week. I'm trying to think if I did anything else of interest. No, I've just been like laboring intently.
Laborious week. Laborious.
Well, how about your week? Tell me about you.
I did see you this week, buddy. I saw you on Monday.
Yeah, when we brought the dog to the vet.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to think. Did I see you this week? I did. Well, my week was pretty uneventful. I had to bring my dog to the vet on Monday. You were with me. It was cool to hang out. I tattooed. Did I do any? Oh, I did a Spider-Man tattoo based on Todd McFarlane, Spider-Man, which was really, really fun.
Oh yeah, I saw that. He's kind of hanging upside down on an inner.
Yeah,
thigh.
I know.
It's like, is that just so it hangs out of his boxers?
Yeah, I have no idea. I didn't question it.
Well, it's not just, but it's like it's going to create a funny illusion.
It's a funny illusion for sure. No, I'm sorry. I was just looking over my week in terms of what tattoos I did, and I did some fun ones. Don't get me wrong, but obviously doing a Todd McFarlane inspired Spider-Man in the symbiote suit was a lot of fun.
Cool. Yeah. No, that suit was that imagery is class. Like, and it suits your work as well with the heavy blacks.
Yeah, I enjoyed doing it. That's essentially the highlight of my week, I guess. X-Men 1 did come out. They're relaunching X-Men, and I picked it up. I have not read it yet. I did skim through some of the pages. I know a lot of people are not happy about the artwork. I like the artwork. Apparently Beast is ugly and Scott's a twink.
Okay.
That's what people are saying. I honest to God, I could like. I'm still reading the Krakoa stuff, so I was like, I'll just go into this a little bit, like just because I've been excited for this book and I want to see it.
Sure.
But I think the Beast design.
Is it Uncanny X-Men number 1?
Yeah,
10 days ago
by Jed McKay, is it? And
right.
Is it Ryan Stegman? I can never me and names, but like. I like the artwork. I think Beast looks cool. Scott looks like Scott. Like, kind of, yeah.
The thing that why I've never really connected with Scott is just generic white man.
Yeah.
I don't think much of Scott's design, because if he's not wearing, I don't know. I think there's a
I kind of
there's a basic white human superhero that is I don't know, doesn't appeal to me.
No, and I kind of get that. Like I wouldn't say I'm a Cyclops fan, but that's not saying I dislike him in any way. Like, kind of, I feel the same way about Cyclops that I do. Like, I don't know, who would be another example? Iron Fist. Like, I'm not like kind of like I'm not like I have no issue with them or whatever, but I have no interest in them either. Massively, I have obviously more interest in Scott because he's attached to the X-Men and all that kind of stuff, but and I kind of I haven't read enough of his arc in comics to kind of to kind of have an opinion about the character to a degree, but I like him in the cartoons, I like him in the movie stuff, whatever, but yeah, kind of I don't have a problem with him in this new one. He looks cool. Beast looks cool. People need to chill.
Well, how does Beast look? Is he?
So he has like these big black kind of triangles under his eyes. I think it's kind of a homage or throwback to, I think it was George Perez's Beast, was it? But it's fun. But people don't like it. People don't like anything.
Yeah, I'm looking back at the cover. I'm trying to look at the cover. McKay, Stegman, Meyer, Gracia. Looks like we got Psylocke, Magic, Beast. Is that Juggernaut?
Mm-hmm.
Juggernaut's one who I'm just like, how is your costume different? Isn't your costume like manifested by magic?
Yeah. Featured characters in issue 1 are Beast, Cyclops, Juggernaut, Kid Omega, Magic, Psylocke, Temper, and Glob Herman. The characters I am not familiar with there would be Kid Omega, Temper, and to a lesser extent Glob.
Oh shit! I just saw that one off on that ice. You haven't read it yet, okay? Well,
I started reading. I was reading like 4 or 5 pages into it. The X-Men have relocated into Alaska and are staying in a factory that used to make Sentinels. The sheriff or the chief of police or something of the town comes over to kind of just like, basically just drop in and like kind of talk to them about like, we appreciate what you did for the town and all that kind of stuff, but all these folks have lost their jobs because you shut down this factory. And then on the flip side of it, that's Beast is doing that, and then Cyclops are on a mission. Oh, I can't remember where, but it was fun stuff. Yeah. I'm interested to see where it goes.
Yeah, that's interesting. I did go into Subcity the other week and just like walk around looking at comics, prepared to. I just wanted to buy everything on the walls.
Fair, I know. Yeah.
Subcity's got a great selection.
They do. As local comic book shops go, it's awesome. I love all the back issues downstairs. I haven't been down there in a while. I haven't been downstairs in a while. I kind of have to that's like when I have a day and I have an idea of what I want, and I go perusing. Yep. But I'm happy it's out. I've seen a lot of like kind of mixed reviews, mostly negative, but that's just fandom at this stage. I think everybody jumps to negativity. Like it's issue 1. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Give it a minute.
Yeah. Just let them kind of, let them flesh out the idea, because none of us know like where it's going. It's issue 1 after like what Krakoa was like 5-6 years.
Yeah.
So yeah, let it breed.
God, time fucking flies. It's so fucking funny the way. I'm cursing too much. It is very funny the way. 12 issues. Nothing comic wise, and then you're just like, well, that was a year.
I know, man. The other times, like, like I'd be looking at a book and it'd be just like kind of like issue 1 was like say 1992, issue 13 like December 1993 or whatever, and it's just like what the fuck, because obviously if it comes out once a month or once every 2 months, but it's like it can be it's spread out for so long.
Yeah, it's funny the way you can like, because they're once a month. It's like, or once a month. It's you get big jumps of time and limited chunks of narrative.
Yeah. But yeah, we'll see.
You're just like, wow, they finally finished that Krakoa thing. Oh, it's been 5 years.
I know, yeah. I've nearly finished House of X, Power of X, and I'm thoroughly enjoying it. I think we were speaking about that before, but it's fun stuff. Yeah. Speaking of Marvel, the biggest news, I guess.
Absolutely. Someone took a shot at Donald Trump.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Apparently, attendance at the rally were like notifying police like minutes before that, like, that guy up there is dodgy. That guy, that's what I heard. I don't know. This is literally, I like, we're just, it's 20 to 10 on Sunday morning, and that's the kind of news breaking this morning.
Yeah.
But
it did look like he got winged.
Oh, he did. Apparently, like, he turned his head and it clipped his ear.
Fucking wild.
So people are saying like, oh, it's sympathy or it's like orchestrated and stuff. It's like, you'd have to be a fucking good shot to pull that off. And then I think the shooter was killed, weren't they?
Yeah. As far as I know, once Secret Service spotted him, they just
took him out.
Yeah.
Pretty crazy.
So I think I saw a report that said like 8 people in the audience behind him got hit. like because it was just at a certain point he just started firing into the crowd
Oh
behind him at the
no
rally.
way! I didn't hear that at all.
Yeah, it wasn't one shot. It was like at least 8 to 12. I think.
Was there any other victims?
Yeah,
Like people were killed?
that's what I'm saying. More than a dozen shots, with later ones coming from agents protecting the president. Again, by the time this episode gets released, it's a week and a half after, so there's probably new news.
New news.
But like, it's interesting to think what would the world be if that had worked? Like, does that just like further radicalize the right wing?
Absolutely.
Like, what sort of chaos does that lead to? What does that do even now? You know, like, does that make him something that people rally around and actually makes him more inclined to be
Yeah, I think. Well,
elected?
yeah, I think so.
Or, fuck me.
Yeah.
And Biden's
His camp is getting a bit.
his camp are sketchy around
Yeah.
him. Like, really, if these two old dudes just like retired off into the fucking sunset somewhere, we'd be better off.
I know it's
As a
it's
globe.
so ridiculous, isn't it?
It's frustrating.
And then I don't know if you heard about the kind of Simon Harris. I don't know all the facts, but it's like I believe Simon Harris is definitely involved, potentially Mary Lou. There was an Irish girl who was living in Dubai. Did you hear about that?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Did you hear about the story?
Tory,
Yeah,
Tory
that's
Toey.
so
I don't know.
awful.
I don't know the ins and outs of it. What's happening?
Well, basically, she was in a relationship, I believe, or married to a South African guy, and he was abusive. And I think I'll say this stuff and I'll caveat it with
You're not quite
I'm
sure of all the
not
facts.
quite sure
Yeah,
about the
but
facts.
go.
But my understanding is that her passport, or I believe she was obviously in a very bad place. I think she took drugs and or alcohol, or at least at the very least she took alcohol. She tried to commit suicide and was arrested for it.
Right.
And then I think her partner, the South African guy, ripped up his passport or something. But I think he he might have fled back home, but I'm not too sure.
Oh,
but then
okay.
she was arrested and being held and all that jazz. And then Simon Harris got to get involved and was just like, get her the fuck out. I believe she's home now and hopefully safe. But yeah, so hopefully she's home safely and, around people that love her and be doing well.
Yeah.
Because it is fucking grim.
It's rough out
Yeah.
there.
God bless her.
Oh, you drawing
Yeah.
me. Cool. Yeah, I saw a thing. We're a news podcast today.
Yeah.
The Labour won with a landslide.
Oh yeah, we're a news podcast today.
Fairly comprehensive.
2 weeks after the fact of any of this stuff actually coming out.
Yeah. I saw things suggesting that they're putting in renters protections, or at least trying to pass renters protections there that are pretty interesting. Like a rent cap.
In England. Fair.
Like they're trying to put new rent. Like, who knows how it gets blocked up or stuff, but it's like max rent on things, like a
Yes.
cap. Removing the concept of no fault evictions. You cannot just be evicted because they want you out. If the landlord wants to sell, there's like an adjudication process where I think they describe it as a hardship test. You have to show that the landlord would be in more hardship than the people you're putting out of the house.
That's all amazing.
And if you are trying to sell it, supposedly some degree of legislation that means that the person occupying it has the first right to buy at not a market rate, but at a reasonable price, which is interesting.
God, if that stuff came into effect here, the country would be a very, very, very different place.
It would change the relationship to property, or it should change the relationship to property. And I know I'm speaking about that from a family that's owned multiple properties over the years, and I don't mean like we've got dozens of fucking homes, but it's like we have our house and we had a place in Cork, which we sold. I'm speaking from a place of privilege, but I'm also like a realist enough to go that, like, I don't need fucking 2, 3, or 4 houses. You know, you need a system that works in the world where people are housed, I guess. I was talking about that AI simulation they ran in, like, is it called Skylines, is the video game?
No, I don't know, buddy.
And it's basically a big SimCity thing that is apparently getting more and more accurate. All these things are getting more and more accurate. But at the same time, we'll look back at this 20 years from now going, look how rudimentary.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
But they set it up with like a basic like economic conditions, and the system ran itself into a housing shortage.
Oh my God.
And the system solved it by prohibiting renting. You couldn't be a landlord. And once it cleared out landlords didn't own multiple properties because you couldn't be a landlord.
Yeah.
People weren't just keeping extra properties.
Yeah.
Because they're not a source of income at that point. They're a source of like financial drain because you have to upkeep them. So you sell them. So suddenly you've got the supply in here.
Oh, wow.
So the price of houses comes down because people need to sell them.
I wonder, like, you know, just because that is fascinating, and I'd imagine if you were to kind of do that here, it would. Jesus, Aidan, not a whiskey at bloody fucking not even 10 o'clock in the morning.
Shut up, life's hard.
Oh,
it's not the morning.
Okay. You really downed it as well. Anyways, you know, okay. So if they did eradicate, you know, landlords and renting houses, they think that would prevent people from renting rooms in their houses.
I don't know.
You know?
I don't know, right? But the thing is this: it's like property as speculation is crazy. I mean, it can, of course, set families up and allow people to build wealth. Like, I'm not a fucking neurosurgeon. I'm not going to make money that way. You know, like if I can do the hard work and buy and flip a property and make some money. I don't know. Like, look, it's a very tricky fucking conversation. All of these things. This is why I can't work in politics. Is I don't believe in fucking absolutes, and can't stick to one fucking argument. But like, I saw a thing yesterday that was like touting this new development they're doing in the Poolbeg area, and it's like 500 new apartments being built, with 50 being sold to DCC as social housing. And it's like, who gave them planning permission? Like, Dublin City Council has to give this group planning permission here. Here's how you do it. Yes, you can build there. We're buying all of them. And we're buying them at the fucking rate marginally above cost. Like, you will make profit. We need 500
but
apartments.
These people,
why are we getting 50?
But these people don't want to make profit on one sale. They want to make profit that accumulates over years and years and years.
Well,
here, look, it's good, absolutely, but
like, dude, it's from the government to make these fucking decisions that say you can build here. You as a building organization can build houses, sell them immediately. I don't know why this isn't fucking happening. It's driving me nuts. Here's my fucking rant. You know the Sean O'Casey Bridge? I think I was talking to you about this. The fucking bridge in Dublin. It's basically a fucking, what would you call it? A drawbridge? Like, it opens and closes to let boats pass. It hasn't opened. No. It has since opened, but I saw this article and reminded of it. There was a 4-year window where it could not open.
Yeah, they lost the remote.
They lost the remote control. First of all, why was there only one remote control? Why the fuck was there only one remote control to be fucking begin with? Why the hell did it take 4 years to solve this fucking problem that a massive piece of Irish infrastructure was fucking incapable of providing its function? And fucking thirdly, what do you mean when they finally got around to fucking fixing it? It only cost €1,800 to fucking fix. Why was this not fucking done? What level of fucking like conference meetings? What level of approval process? What level of fucking what form needed to be filled out over the course of 4 years that wasn't to spend 1,800 quid to get a new fucking remote control to allow the function of a massively expensive piece of Dublin city infrastructure?
And how much money was wasted or spent working around it because it couldn't open up?
This is it. How many boats, like, I don't know how many ships ever fucking got past that boat and unloaded further up the way, but how many of them had to fucking rent a van because they had to do it out in Dublin Port rather than
and like, and it was built for a purpose, so it was obviously warranted. So
yeah, look, I don't know. Maybe it's not a big fucking deal that it opens or closes, but you built a bridge that does, like, there. It's like two capital T's for people thinking. It's not a vertical drawbridge. The bridge pivots around the columns, so that they open and allow passage through, and then they close back up and form a bridge again. But like, maybe we didn't need that, but you went to the trouble of fucking designing, engineering, building and installing this fucking thing, and you only got one fucking remote control. And what's this annoys me so much because it's such a little fucking microcosm of Irish fucking government and fucking engineering. But like, okay, maybe you didn't get one remote control, which means what? You lost the other five?
Yeah.
Like, so there are five dickheads out there with these fucking remote controls? Is there a fucking monkey like in that episode of Community stealing pens?
But
like,
also,
what the fuck is going on?
It's like, even if it is like kind of like, right, look, it is controlled by a remote, right? A remote controlled. You'd imagine that remote control would have been stored in some sort of like viewpoint kind of security tower type of box place. Do you know what I mean? Like, you think that would have been like at the control box where people are there at the controls. Like, you'd imagine like kind of like that's where it would have been kept. You know, instead of them moving offices and losing it during a move.
It's
imagine
fucking annoying. And the only thing you can imagine is that fucking like bureaucratic standstill exists throughout all of fucking government. Because
absolutely.
What is stopping them just going, here are the rental fucking problems, we're just going to fucking solve it? The 1960s, they built thousands of houses for social fucking housing. What was different? We didn't have the fucking economic fucking wealth to do it. Like, the decisions that happened in the 60s. We were starting from nothing. And the decisions were housing,
roads,
education, college will be free.
Yeah.
Like, we built our healthcare system model, I guess, after the NHS to a degree, that like it was a
Yeah.
I just don't understand how. I mean, I also do. It's just fucking ignorance, greed, and whatever the fuck else. But like, just fucking do it. I mean, even
someone explained to me recently about the bureaucracy or the bullshit in their job, and because they work government essentially, and they were saying like kind of like loads of people will start like, and they'll say like kind of like they'll come into a place and they'll be like, wow, okay, this is how you do things, okay, fair, and then they'll just be like, there's like a much easier, much better, much more efficient way of doing things, but the people on top won't do it because that's not the way they do it. That's not the way that they understand. So they won't change. So you don't get change. You get people trying to implement stuff that just never takes off, and then it just reverts back to the old shitey kind of like, oh yeah, well, look, we'll do this now and we'll sort the rest out tomorrow.
Yeah, I did hear like it's a shitty fucking, I don't know, an apocryphal tale, I guess, if I haven't heard the fucking, but I think it was like a first-hand account, but it's like, I do not like Elon Musk. I think he's a knob. And I think the way he's run Twitter to some degree has been fucking chaotic. That being said, I thought Twitter was a fucking cesspool before he was running it, and it's still a fucking cesspool, so I don't really know if it's changed that fucking much. But there was a story about when he took over, he was looking at like the various server farms that were running as like redundancies and stuff, and he was like, we don't need that, shut it down. And they were like, that's going to take us 8 months to shut down and part over and whatever. And he apparently like said a couple of times, no, I just want it gone, get rid of it, next week, get rid of it, it should just be gone. And he was on a plane going somewhere, and he had the conversation again, and he was frustrated, and he just said, fuck it, we'll change the flight, we're going there. And he just went there with a U-Haul van and 2 guys and just took it out himself.
No way.
Because all it was somebody just taking the fucking servers down, like physically disconnecting the fucking things. And he just went and did it, and it's like, he's a fucking knob, and it has repercussions for people. It does have repercussions for people, this sort of fucking big swing thinking, or big swing fucking actions. But like if we outlawed renting as a thing, or like there are landlords who are like, my whole income is renting or whatever. Well, it's like, well, we'll get into that. We'll get into fucking appeals and fucking whatever the fuck, but like,
but the thing is though, like kind of, ultimately, like I don't think kind of your income should be generated from just being a landlord. Like, look, really, really and truly, man. If you think about it like a humanitarian crisis,
I want to make that statement with you. I want to agree with it. But I also know that there's old ladies who have no fucking income and no fucking retirement and no fucking pension, and their income comes from the fact that they've like a garage they turned into a flat.
But like, this is what I'm trying to say to you, like, kind of like, I understand that, you know, but nobody should be relying on this stuff. There should be enough infrastructure to protect, like, an old woman who needs to kind of, who it doesn't have a pension, or, you know what I mean? Like, kind of those things need to be better. But like, I know somebody who they're about my age. Say, I don't know them very well or personally, but they work in the building trade, and like, I think they were saying that their 5-year plan was to just kind of like, they have a big enough company, but they were like, my 5-year plan is just get rid of it, get rid of everything, I buy 5 houses, and then that's it.
And just rent them. You see, the other side of that then is like, I don't entirely, because this is not the podcast I thought I was going to record today.
Obviously, like, you know, who would be like, I wouldn't hate that if I had 5 properties and it wasn't much of a headache, and, you know, decent tenants and stuff, and then you're just getting X amount a month. You don't have to work, but that's the, you know. But
I also don't particularly hate that guy. What I hate is a conglomerate that buys a housing estate.
Yeah,
that should just be immediately outlawed. Like, I really feel like we should take fucking draconian fucking actions against that fucking system. And just go, this is now an illegal process. Yeah. We do not allow corporations to own housing in this country.
Especially like multinational.
You have 2 years to sell these.
International ones as well. Like, it's just like, you're not...
You have 2 years to sell these to Irish citizens before the government sees them. That should be the fucking statement. The video I sent you of the housing estate that's overgrown with trees, the government should just seize that fucking land. I'm all for it. I don't care. Like, by the time, if somebody's like, but I own that land, well, it's like, great, well, we're gonna buy you out for 100 quid a square foot, and just give them the fucking money, take the fucking land, and that's it. And like, it's just driving me fucking nuts. It's dictatorship territory and totalitarian fucking territory, but like, at the industrial level, this shit needs to fucking stop.
Yeah, but look, like, I know what you're saying, it's dictatorship.
The Dáil session I sat in on the other week, one of the ministers raised the fact that, I think it was in Drogheda, there are derelict buildings on the fucking main street, things that were like big infrastructural pieces of the centre of the city for years, and she's like, these are derelicts and no one's got the money to maintain them, and no one's buying them and nobody's doing it. And like, even if you walk up fucking Abbey Street, you see the Independent building where the old independent newspapers used to work and used to be, and it's like, how has nobody fucking partnered with somebody and turned that into apartments in the middle
honest to God, if you were to leave, say, at my house, for example, and walk into the town, into the city centre, you'll probably see just as much, if not equal amount or whatever, of abandoned, just, you know, second floor. Like, you see, like, you walk past somewhere and like, oh yeah, there's a shop, then you look above it and all abandoned. Just all abandoned. Like, so much of it. Thomas Street, for example, that's getting a massive kind of like overhaul, and it's great and all that kind of stuff, but like, there's still portions of it that are abandoned. There's so much of this city that are abandoned, even city centre.
Look, I'm in Dunleary. I'm in gorgeous, beautiful South County Dublin, which is fucking posh as fucking fuck, and the property prices and values are fucking huge. There is a big fuck off piece of house at the top of my road that has like wood panels up around the fencing and has grown 8 feet of fucking grass and land around a home, and it's like, who fucking died and left this to someone who has no money to do anything with it but won't fucking sell it?
I know, dude. Like, there's you know, 2 houses in my neighborhood that side by side that are like vacant and completely neglected, and it's just like, you know where I live. It's a nice little place, but it's like, come on.
I'm about to say all you need is, but I know there's more complexity to this, but at the same time, there also fucking isn't. Like, it's the plumbing situation that I've got going here, where plumbers come in and go, that's so fucking complex. And when I look at it, it's like, I need that fucking attachment from Screwfix, it's 20 quid, and I need 3 meters of fucking cable, and that's that. And you're telling me it's so complex. What's complex? The fact that I have to lie on the ground and fucking thread the fucking cable behind the cabinet? That's not fucking complex. It's just fucking laziness or lack of will. Those houses, the legislation should be, if you own a property and it's derelict for more than a fucking year, we're taking it from you.
Fair.
Like from this point going forward, if we can like set a fucking reasonable target, be fair about it, but it's like you have 18 months to sell, renovate, or occupy this fucking thing. And occupation has to be fucking vetted. You know, you can't just live there at night and it's occupied.
Yeah.
Like, you won't get people to fucking. I don't know how you can't get people to fucking agree with this in government.
Because
I don't know how
because those are the politicians are landlords, bro.
Cool, they can be landlords. Let's ban the fucking corporate fucking landlords that own two. Like,
They all get brown envelopes.
you greenlight a fucking. You greenlight a fucking a development of 500 apartments. Why are you not greenlighting that with, yes, you can build it, yes, you can fucking sell them, yes, you can make some fucking money off them, but you're selling them to Dublin City Council, you're selling them at a reasonable fucking rate, and all 500 units are social housing, and we get 500 fucking families into fucking things. It drives me fucking mad.
I too am as frustrated as you, but to be, and here, look, I just don't understand the ins and outs of it. To kind of like, you know, but it feels black and white. Like it feels like, come on, but it's not.
But I feel like that's what they're relying on as well, is the idea that like people go, look, I don't entirely understand all the ins and outs of it, and that is the sort of, again, the bullshit that I'm fucking seeing when I look at the fucking plumbing and when I look at that fucking bridge, and it's like they're relying on people to think it's more complex than it fucking is, and it isn't. It isn't. It's like, I've worked in companies as well where it's like, oh, we're going to need a day's rate to review this, and there's going to be 3 people on it, and then there's going to be a research phase, and there's going to be this, that, and the other. And it's like, build a fucking website. It's a homepage, and there's a fucking contact fucking form, and like, this isn't fucking complicated. It isn't.
You know, makes you sad though. Dublin.
I'm just annoyed.
I'm annoyed. Dublin is it's a lovely city that just needs a little bit of love, and it's just not getting it. Dublin is being neglected. The whole country is being neglected. Don't get me wrong, and like, you know, it's hard out there for sure, especially more rural areas. I
would love for people to be comfortable just not getting re-elected. Just fucking like fall on the sword of fixing the country.
Do your fucking.
People are going to
job.
hate you, but the housing thing is fixed. You won't get elected in again by the fucking landlords.
Yeah.
The landlord class. But while you're there, outlaw the cunts.
Yeah.
Alec Baldwin got off the manslaughter thing.
Yeah. I was. I think that was it. Emer was watching something, and she was watching the case, you know. And she was going through things, but I think it might have been that, because I could just hear it in the background. But it might have been like the prosecutor or the defendant or whatever. But somebody was saying like, this isn't rocket surgery, and I just thought that was great. I love that.
That's very funny.
Yeah, so rocket surgery is going to be my new thing. But Alec Baldwin did get off. Do you think I've heard snippets of it. Like, I think like why is there live ammunition on a set? Surely the armor is responsible for that. The armor person seems super neglectful. Is it Alec Baldwin's fault? Is it Jason Eccles' fault? Is it, you know, who shot the gun?
Alec.
That's awful. That's awful.
So the thing is this: I'm trying to look at the definition of manslaughter to try and understand. Like, at first glance, you would say that the accidental killing of a human being is manslaughter. So how is he not guilty of manslaughter? Because he pulled the trigger and a person died.
He claims he didn't pull the trigger though.
He pulled the fucking trigger. He can fuck off. Whatever fucking magic fucking bullet he wants to fucking.
Yeah,
claim. I'm not. I
think he said he like cocked the hammer or whatever you want to call it.
He can fuck off.
But I was just like, look, kind of at the end of the day, the gun went off. You were holding it. The person died. Like, no one's saying it's your, like, it's like your intention or you're intrinsically evil for doing this thing or blah blah. But like, don't come on, you know.
So the thing I would say, looking at these definitions, is that like manslaughter may be committed where there is an unlawful and dangerous act which results in death, but without an intention to kill or cause serious injury. Now, acting in good faith, trusting an armourer and trusting the production and trusting whatever else and whatever career he's had, he was not performing an unlawful or dangerous act. I think that's where it becomes not manslaughter.
Okay, fair.
That like he wasn't even doing anything fucking
Yeah.
wrong. I don't think he
No.
was. I don't think he was doing anything
No.
wrong in that moment on that set. He was acting with what he believed to be dummy rounds on a professional fucking set. Where it falls down, where his culpability is more questionable, is the idea that, like, as a producer, he had some responsibility over
Yeah.
the health and safety conditions on the set. And, like,
I know I'm a cynic when it comes to Hollywood and how things are done and blah blah. Like, but yeah, like, you know, oftentimes when I see like an actor as a producer on a movie and stuff, I don't know how much they're involved in regards to it. I say there's a spectrum. I say some are probably heavily, some are just like it's a credit, and a few extra bob.
that's more where I think I am with it as well. Where it's like I think this is a terrible accident. I think that mistakes were made and there was failures in systems that, like, in order to avoid higher costs and union fucking rules, they went to a different fucking state. They hired a junior person to do a pro level fucking job, and they assumed, I guess, that they were just giving this person the step up. Like, she's from a family. Am I wrong? I think her father was an armorer.
Could be.
Like, it's almost a family business, but this was the first time she was running the fucking set.
But I heard her.
You know, I think it's a little sketchy, but, like, I think maybe I'm fucking nuts, but at the end of the day, I think it is the fucking armorer's responsibility.
I like look, to be honest, like it is. Like it like, you know, kind of like this is a thing. Like it comes down to, like, it really comes down to just like, what is the job you're tasked with? What is your responsibility? Is your responsibility the guns? Yes. Is your responsibility ammunition? Yes. Is your responsibility live rounds? If there's live rounds on set, you know, like it is someone's responsibility to like, and also like I was listening to something, and I don't know if the armorer said it or something really stupid. Like, I grew up around guns, you know, I really did. Always assume a gun is loaded. You know, even if a gun is empty, you don't point it at anybody. You know, these were things we were brought up with. You know, but every gun that you see, assume it's loaded. That's just bottom line rule. You know, I know this is on a set and stuff, but it's just kind of like they were just kind of discussing that in the court case and things like that. Like, and somebody kind of assumed it was somebody on set, or the armor, or somebody just said that they assumed it wasn't loaded, and it's just kind of like, no, like, come on, everybody, like, you know that you should know this. Gun safety 101 is, you know, assume the gun is loaded. If you can, you know, like I say, a shotgun, you hold that thing broken, you know, you snap it. Obviously, you're probably different with handguns and all kind of stuff. I'm not too familiar with that, but it's just kind of like, yeah, guns are loaded.
Yeah, I mean, it's slightly, I guess, slightly different when you're on a fucking movie set where you're presuming blanks are.
Well, look, dude. But the thing is,
like,
you're you know, in and around the same age as myself. We both grew up with the Brandon Lee story. Like this, that was ingrained in me growing up, in the sense of just like, holy shit, like, and then seeing that parodied, or not parodied, but like.
But that was a failure of an armorer to maintain.
Yeah.
Like, that was a failure of an armorer to maintain the fucking.
There was a blank in the chamber.
There was debris in the barrel.
Yeah, I think it was a blank. There was a blank caught in the chamber, and then when the other blank fired, it fired out the debris that was caught in the barrel, and it was an old casing, I think it was, and that's what hit Brandon.
Yeah. Well,
like, I know myself, even if I was on a film set and there was like guns there and stuff like that, like, I would be like, ugh.
yeah,
you know?
I do. I'm trying to, like, you know, my fence riding fucking situation on issues and conversations or whatever the fuck else, but it's just like, yes, of course, 100% up until you're doing rehearsals and you're pointing the gun in the direction that it's supposed to be fucking pointed. Do you know what I mean? Like, he was.
Apparently, no, I could have heard this wrong. Sorry to interrupt. Jason Eccles had a live round.
Jensen Eccles, yeah, and there were a number of live rounds found in various other places. Like, they were just mixed in amongst.
That's wild. That's
everything.
wild, bro. That's terrifying.
Yeah.
Like, I think they were saying, like, there could be like a shootout scene or something. He's just like, I literally could have been in a fucking actual gunfight with Alec Baldwin or whoever. Like, he was pretty awful. Like, good girl. Sorry, bro. Yes, sorry about
okay. Yeah. So apparently, the some of the live rounds, the constituted evidence, were intentionally misfiled, and because evidence was mishandled and documentedly obscured, apparently. All they could say was, "We're dismissing this. There's no way to trust the evidence anymore."
Well, that's
So,
convenient.
dismissed without prejudice.
But I believe the Armour sheets they did get like 18 months in jail. Is that correct?
Yeah. But this was about, I guess,
Baldwin.
Baldwin's culpability. Other news: I saw Kumail Nanjiani is cast as Booster Gold.
No, well, that's definitely a rumored. I don't know. I sent it a group chat, but I
okay.
don't know how. I didn't look into it much further than that. It's rumored.
Okay, sorry. I guess I thought
No,
that was
no, I just didn't
confirmed.
clarify Booster. Let's see, Booster Gold. Is there any? He'd be a good Booster Gold for sure.
Yeah,
You're a Booster Gold fan. How do you feel? Your Booster Gold is like my one.
I'm a Blue Beetle
More of
fan.
a Blue Beetle fan.
And Blue Beetle got paired with Booster. I was never much of a Booster fan because I just haven't read that much.
Fair. Fair.
But sure, look, there you are. We had a Gladiator 2 trailer.
Didn't watch it. I heard people giving out about it because it had a
Didn't
rap
watch
song in it. Is Paul Mescal Russell Crowe's son in it?
He
Or did we talk about
is.
this before? I feel like we might have.
No.
Okay, go on.
No, I think we talked a bit about it in production. He's not.
Marcus Aurelius, or whatever the guy's name is.
He is Lucius, the kid from the first movie.
Okay, yeah.
I don't think that's Maximus's son. Unless
Oh
there's
yeah, no,
some
you're right.
assertion,
Sorry, you're right.
Unless there's some assertion in the movie beforehand that
No, no. That's just my.
her and
No.
Maximus's child had been together, or Maximus had been together. And
No,
that
that
child
no,
surreptitiously-
that's just my misremembering of it. I saw a thumbnail that had the kid from the first movie in it, and I was just like, oh yeah, but then he isn't he the father of a murdered son, and
his kids
Yeah.
are dead. But like there is a sort of assertion in that movie that Lucilla, is that her name?
like, are you asking me?
Like she and Maximus knew each other. I don't know if there's any insinuation that they had been a couple or had been together, or potentially that the kid might have been his. But her husband was dead at that point, and she just had the son. And that's who Mescal is playing, apparently. People are, I guess, annoyed at the rap song. I think they really got connected to the hook on that. What's a man to a king? What's a king to a god?
Oh
What's
yeah.
a god
What's a man
to a
to a king?
non-believer?
What's a king to a god? Yeah.
What's a god to a non-believer who doesn't believe in anything? Like, it's kind of, I can see how that's thematically relevant to the various power structures in ancient Rome. It does kind of... Gladiator, I think it wants to feel like that high-class sword and sandals epic
Yes.
of the original Gladiator, or of the the movies of the 50s and 60s, and putting a rap song on the trailer kind of puts it in with, like, is it Kid Harington's or like Pompeii?
Yeah.
The Gladiator. It makes it feel like a mid-2000s action movie with a CG fucking rhino. They're trying to like scale up from the tigers.
Yeah.
And somebody's riding around. You haven't
No.
watched it? Like, somebody comes out stood on the back of a rhinoceros.
Well, that's cool.
with
But
like reins on it, and it's like, what are we doing? Why are we doing that?
yeah.
What's the evidence for that historically? Like, I don't know. I think it might. Maybe it's a little bit that, like, 300, the giant
The elephant.
monsters and stuff.
The elephant in 300.
Yeah. Yeah, they sent their beasts, clumsy animals.
But
I don't know. I was on board for a lot of it. The rap song kind of did throw me towards the end, but like the grandeur, the look, the feel, the vibe of it again was there from Gladiator. I kind of want it to be good. I really do. Like that movie made a huge impression to me when it came out in 2000.
I watched it quite a lot, you know.
Yeah, I mean, I saw that. I saw that the first time I saw that. I could only get seats fairly close to the screen in the cinema, so the sound was like completely fucking overwhelming, and the grandeur of it was fucking huge, you know. And you know yourself the way like the dialogue comes out of the speakers by the screen, so I could kind of hear it.
Yeah.
Whatever way the sound balanced for me, I was like blown away by it. Like when I saw it again, like further back in the room, the sound balance was slightly different, and I was like, oh, this is fine. But like that sound played a big part in it when I saw it the first time. But I don't know. I hope it's great. I want it to be great for like Paul Mescal's sake and everyone involved, you know, because it's such a classic to be taking a swing at as like a young actor.
Yeah, like and like fair play to him. I love seeing stuff like this, like because like realistically, Paul Mescal would have been from like where is he from? Minute or somewhere like that, or I think he's from that direction. But it's like he would have grown up like us and seen Russell Crowe and Gladiator and all that kind of stuff, and then you know never would have thought that I'd be in the sequel of that.
But that's the thing. It's funny that like I don't know. It's funny that it's even a speed bump thought in my brain. But like as a fucking kid that loved movies and liked acting and was like maybe I could be an actor one day, and having seen that film, like to have kind of had the thought that like there's no way in hell an Irish person would be in the fucking like sequel to Gladiator or something that fucking big. For it to finally fucking happen and for it to be an Irish guy is kind of like, well, fuck me. Like, should I have tried harder?
Should have, Aiden. Should have.
This was an option?
Yeah. You should have just...
It could have been me. It should have been me.
You should have just hit LA sooner and gone to the gym. I see the rhino scene. That's pretty cool. Is that Diane Lane? Is that not Diane? Is that Diane Lane? What's that lady's name?
Is it Connie
Nielsen? Okay, yeah.
If it's the original,
it is the original actor
playing Lucilla again.
Oh, Janie Mackerel. Yeah, no, that looks cool.
Doesn't it though?
Yeah.
Doesn't it though?
Like Paul Mescal looks great in it. Denzel Washington looks great. I think some people did people have issue with Denzel in it? I don't know. Who cares? People are idiots. Speaking of trailers, we had a big one this week.
Yeah. So I mean, I think this could be our last little talking point here.
We had the first teaser trailer for February's 2025 Marvel's movie Captain America 4 Brave New World. Brand New World. Jeez Louise. But it looks good.
End of story.
Yeah, it looks fine. What do you think of it?
No. You go first. A little bit of in-depth analysis. What did you like? What didn't you like? What images stood out for you?
So there's rumors that
I'm ranting.
There's rumors that I don't know the gentleman's name, but he was in Breaking Bad and Star Wars and
Giancarlo Esposito.
He is potentially playing the GW Bridge. Is that true?
I don't know who GW Bridge is.
GW Bridge was a character, I believe, created by Rob Liefeld, but don't kind of hold that to me.
I think they're fairly confirmed as to who he's playing.
It's not on his IMDb, so I can't see it.
Okay.
But GW Bridge first appeared in X-Force issue 1, Robert Liefeld, and is he? I don't even think he's a suit. I don't think he's a mutant or anything like that. I think he might be an enhanced soldier, but I'm not too sure.
Okay, but going through the you've watched the trailer, right?
Yes.
Okay, what it starts where?
Oh, jeez, buddy, that's a big.
You sent it into the group. You watched it. You went, this looks good. So talk me through what you liked, rather than just going Giancarlo Esposito.
Well,
that's how you pronounce that, right?
That's how I pronounce it.
Yeah, Giancarlo Esposito.
So what did I like about it?
Yeah, like we can like run your way through the trailer real quick, because like we've got like narrative clues and we've got shots that we like or don't like.
Yes,
you know,
so
we've been reviewing things.
I liked, or I like. It's unfortunate that the guy originally playing Thunderbolt Ross isn't, obviously, God bless us, isn't here to reprise the role and see it through, because they were really going for something. I think that would have been cool.
Yeah, he passed away a few years ago.
And he was a great actor. But
what was his name?
John, isn't it John? Or is it something? I don't know his name. Something Hurt or something. It's not, I know it's not John Hurt, but what's his name? William Hurt. Ah, okay, not too bad. Not too bad. Did you have any idea?
Okay. No, I forgot it. I knew it wasn't John, but it was. I knew it was.
Yeah. Okay. So fair. I knew it wasn't John Hurt, but yeah.
So what you're getting to, though, is we get our first shot as Harrison Ford recast as Thunderbolt Ross.
And Thunderbolt Ross is the President of America.
Yes. So we've got all of the pomp and ceremony of the American presidency, which is interesting, especially to say that it's going to
release in February. Yeah, so on the nose.
Which is the handover.
Yeah. Interesting.
Which is interesting. Yeah. Like, I know this movie got pushed back, right? Did it get pushed back from a November date to a February date? I wonder how closely they were trying to tie things to presidential things as well. It's interesting that this trailer gets released and it features somebody taking a shot at the president.
But also, like, I don't know when this movie is going to come out, because McDonald's released the toys for Happy Meals already, I think. And they featured the Red Hulk and stuff in it. So,
okay. They've previewed what they're going to release, or could you actually already go to McDonald's?
So I'm not too sure, right? It's either or, but I think what happened was McDonald's released it kind of, or had leaked it or released it or whatever, and that would have been based off the original release. So we would have been seeing them kind of soon or whatever, you know. And I think that's why they included Red Hulk in the trailer, because they were like, it's out there, so we may as well just capitalize on it.
Yeah, I hate the like we've jumped from the first shot to the last shot of the trailer. Like you love a linear analysis. Look, I'm just old, but I have no time for the various skews of characters. It's like, why have we got a red fucking Hulk? Can we just give me another monster or something?
I'm okay with Abomination, you know, in a sense of and I'm okay with the leader, you know. I'm not opposed to people being, you know, exposed to gamma radiation,
things that make them monsters. I was happy enough seeing the various Thanos's henchmen that were giants and could fight the Hulk. Cool, let's go. But once we just get into fucking color variations on our characters, I'm like, why do we do that?
I see.
And also we know that that's Thunderbolt Ross.
Yeah.
Right? We know from the comics that Hulk is Thunderbolt Ross. So there's no fucking, I don't know, there's no surprise to it. Maybe it won't.
But there's a cool scene. I did like the scene in the trailer where I think Harrison Ford tells him, I need you to be kind of Captain America, like Steve Rogers or something like that. And the Falcon's like, I'm not Steve Rogers.
Yeah. Now, here's where I get a little sketchy on this thing, right? Am I nuts? Or does everyone's head look like it's been fucking replaced? That whole sequence where they're walking into the offices, whatever way it's lit, whatever way it's set up, it looks like they've fucking shot it, didn't like it, shot parts of it again, and replaced it in heads.
Yeah,
it looks weird.
I know what you're saying, and I'm always thinking sometimes when these type of movies do that and stuff, and it's just kind of, that might look okay now, but that stuff gets dated very, very fast. You know, by the time this thing comes out, and maybe it's a year or two later, we're watching that, it's just oh, that's so obviously kind of just CGI'd on there. It's like that scene in Sopranos too.
There's something going on, and I don't know why. I know they've done a fair amount of reshoots. I just feel like these heads are tracked back onto these fucking characters. Or whatever way they've, maybe they're green screening in the entire sets behind them. It just looks wrong. Are you looking at it yourself?
I'm just having a wee kind of peruse. But
it looks like a video game where it looks like video games I see where the rendering on things looks fine, but then they're putting a person's face in it.
Is it the one where they're standing in front of the door in the Oval Office or something?
Yeah.
I will say though, it gives me kind of Winter Soldier kind of Winter Soldier vibes, and like if it's on par with the Winter Soldier, I'll be happy. Like
if it's on par with one of the best films of the last of the whole franchise.
Yes.
Yeah.
There's also, I saw someone paused it, and it's like the Falcon is flying with a helmet.
Okay, all right, because that was one of my gripes. Was like, did he just break the sound barrier wearing eye goggles?
And like I look kind of Gambit's one of my favorite superheroes, and for some reason it doesn't bother me with Gambit, but like I just think that kind of exposed crown, like I just never understood it, especially for the Falcon. It's just like, dude, you're like, as in like, give him like, if it's the MCU and you're kind of making these things semi-realistic, whatever, give him a cool kind of like pilot's helmet, kind of futuristic.
Yeah, you get close to Iron Man at that point.
Oh yeah, true.
Like the more and more you armor him up. Here, I don't know. I'm not. Giancarlo Esposito looks stiff, moving around. I think he is just an older guy. That car exploding is. I mean, I hope we see that somebody cuts this fucking thing in half very specifically, because it looks like it's been cut in half.
Yeah, well, Marvel had definitely removed stuff from the trailers,
Yeah. I mean, we see the moment where he calls Isaiah Bradley out just before he takes the shot. Do you not notice that? The guy that stands up to take the shot at the president, he goes, Isaiah, no,
Okay.
And it's Isaiah Bradley.
Oh, shit.
And we see, like, I think it's Manchurian Candidate. I think it's Winter Soldier. It feels like he's triggered.
Mm-hmm.
I could be wrong. But big, strong dude gets into it, takes a fucking couple of shots at the president. There's a shot where he chases him out a window, like the Winter Soldier, like that jump out the fucking window thing. I hope to God they don't do a lot more of that, because I don't think shots like that should become fucking branded into a franchise that, like, here comes that shot.
Yeah.
It's the 5th film, time for the window jump. We always do. Oh, they're going to catch the shield.
Yeah.
They're going to Winter Soldier shield catch. Would you say there's a degree of, like, the Super Soldier program having its own answer to the Winter Soldier program in the code wording? Like, is Isaiah Bradley the US response to the Winter Soldier? Like, are there people that are... Did you ever see The Manchurian Candidate?
I know of it, but I haven't seen it.
Okay. Well, like, it's one of these early, like, brainwashed to assassinate.
Isn't that technically
films.
based on a true story?
I don't
Isn't that
know.
a little bit, what do you call it? The other one? MK Ultra type of thing? Sleeper agents and stuff?
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff that's, like, fringy as fuck. White House gets blown up. The wings. I don't know. I'm never mad about these wings.
It's funny. I think Anthony Mackie is probably, or Anthony Mack. I think Anthony Mackie, I think he's a brilliant actor. I've seen him and stuff, and I think he does have a lot of range and all that kind of thing. I do think he's kind of like underutilized in Marvel, but I also think like kind of basically put it this way: I kind of like the Falcon more in the comics than I do in the movies. I think the Falcon was a cooler character.
I don't think Anthony Mackie's that good.
Okay, fair. Well, I think he is good. I've seen him in a few things, and I've like, I saw him on one kind of like TV show that was like an anthology, and the episode in it, he's replaced himself with a kind of a synthetic robot with his memories or something, because I think he's dying or something like that.
Let me rephrase then. I don't think he's that good in the Marvel universe. I don't think he's getting much to do.
Fair.
In a way that makes me like him. I liked him in that sci-fi show that
Altered Carbon.
Joel Kinnaman was in. Altered
I've never seen it.
Yeah. Within that, you never seen that? Watch that show.
Yeah.
Watch that show.
Yeah.
I think that was a good show, and I don't think they're doing another season of it, but I really fucking enjoyed it. Like, I just liked the weird.
There's 2 seasons of it, I think, but
2 seasons,
I just finished Daredevil season 1 with Emer, and we're gearing up to watch Jessica Jones.
Okay.
I think I'm good at.
I can't believe we're revisiting these.
I have never seen season 3 of Daredevil, so that's why I'm doing it. and I just want to get up to date before
Okay.
Born Again.
That's surprising. I think we've said this before. The fact that you were a huge Daredevil fan and you've never
I know,
watched
bro.
that.
I just got burnt
Um,
out. I think at the time, Defenders just really kind of bad taste in my mouth, and I was just like, oh, I don't know if I can just deal with this right now.
I burnt out on Jessica Jones season 3. I know that's there, and I know that got reasonably good reviews. I was just like done with this whole fucking Netflix TV.
Yeah, see, I was the same. I didn't watch Jessica
Um,
Jones season 2 or 3, whatever it is, and I didn't watch Punisher season 2. I will get to them, but
yeah.
yeah.
Well, um,
But yay or nay, Captain America?
I'm kind of flat on it just because like Anthony Mackie doesn't do much for
Okay.
me. The fact that he's already revisiting the like I want to make Captain America official military positions, like
Yeah,
we did that with
I
Civil
thought that
War.
as well, to be honest.
Um, like we should be past this,
And also, at this stage,
and I still think Marvel's dropping the ball on road mapping us because I knew the journey for phase 1, phase 2, phase 3. You know, I knew
Yes,
what we were
yeah,
doing.
totally.
I wanted to see it play out. I wanted to see
Yeah.
how it played out. I think we're in phase 5
no idea now, bro.
and it's like, what's the fucking plan here, guys? What movies are leading to what fucking Avengers? We set up a pattern that your audience wants to follow. We want the sentence structure. We want 5 words and a full stop.
Yeah.
Give us 5 words and a full stop. Captain America, Iron Man, Hulk, Thor, fucking Iron Man 2 if you want to. Avengers, 5 words and a full stop. Give me that. I will watch that pattern.
Yeah. Yeah.
I will watch that pattern over
Give
and
us
over
a
and
straight
over
course. I don't know if we talked about it, but I thought it looked good. Agatha all along. I think we did talk about it, but that was also a trailer I think that dropped last week or so.
Yeah, but the problem with it is it still falls into the like what worked for Marvel was this sort of like they brought the audience along with them and they were leading us on a journey. And Agatha, great, what a fun character, what a fun world. What the fuck does that have to do with
Yeah, I
anything?
know. Yeah.
At this point? Is it just because she was popular in that fucking
Yes, I think so.
Scarlet
Yeah.
Witch one? It's solely because Catherine Hahn's character was popular and the song
And she's
worked.
great, but yeah, look, at this stage, it's like I know what you're talking about because like when they do things that when they do try to tie things into the larger scheme of stuff and they do something like Secret Invasion, it's just like that fell flat, you know. Like kind of, I'll take Agatha if it's just a good show.
They didn't. When you say they tried to tie stuff in, it's like, but they fucking didn't. Like, it was so poorly
Yeah, it
put
was,
together,
yeah.
and so like, I swear to God, I still stand by the idea that they AI'd some of those scripts. I swear to God, they were like, write a scene from a fucking espionage thriller.
Oof, imagine that.
And then they worked with it as a bare bones and built off of it or something, because there's shots in there that's like, okay, cool, I can see you're getting this from Bond, and I can see you're getting this from 3 Days of the Condor, and I can see you're getting this from like The Spy That Came In From the Cold. Like, I can see where you're getting things, but this is shit. And like, again, someone should have been making the fucking calls of like, oh, Samuel L. Jackson has graves all over the world. Okay, cool. I guess he's making go bags and hidden caches around the place under the name Nick Fury. Cool. Oh, what? He's got 2 graves next to each other, one for the gun and passport and one for the eye patch. What the fuck are we doing? Why are you? Why is he? I'm just annoyed that they could have it all. This is my thing today. Is frustration that the world is
Frustrating.
doable.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I get it, bro.
And nobody can fucking lay the cables out straight. Would somebody just fucking do
But
that?
also, it's like it's straightforward. It can be straightforward, you know. And they have what? Like,
But what about this person? They want screen time. Fuck them. It doesn't serve the project.
they must have at least like 70 odd years, 80 odd years of material, essentially, in terms of the comics. What has
Yeah,
worked,
cool.
what hasn't worked, you know.
Yeah, well, that's what they distilled for the Infinity Saga, and I don't know. Like, should they have then just like?
I'm still convinced that once Endgame ended, they literally should have just shelved the Avengers world and just gone X-Men. 100%, bro. 100%. Every time.
I was just thinking that. I was just thinking the shit that we saw in X-Men 97, if we had 5 years of building to Magneto's and those Sentinels, if we had 5 years of building to that fucking narrative, and then you go back to your sort of early 2000s comics and you get the Avengers versus X-Men,
which people loved,
which was a great fucking event.
In the latest X-Men comic, Beast is talking to the kind of the chief of police. I can't remember her name in the book, but he's talking about Scott something. She's like, "Oh, I would have hoped to have spoken to Scott," and he's like, "Oh, he's out on a mission or something." But he basically says like, "He's the greatest tactical mind and soldier I've ever worked with, and I've been an Avenger."
Get fucked. with all of the fucking. With all of the fucking best will in the fucking world, there is no grounds in fucking comic book history for Scott fucking Summers to be the greatest tactical fucking mind of whatever. He is a jock high schooler who becomes a fucking teacher. He's the PE teacher of the fucking X-Men high school. Like, he's those who can't do teach. He is the guy who peaked in high school going to the fucking prom, went to college, came back, and all he could fucking do is teach in the fucking high school of fucking X-Men. He is Coach Boomer, if you remember Sky High. He shoots fucking blunt force out his fucking head. Okay, he's a team lead, great. I will not fucking take that he is some preternatural fucking tactician. Get fucked. Why does everybody have to be the best of the fucking, like, the hyperbole that people write into fucking comic books is just be people with a thing. Like, but even by the time
I don't need everybody.
Wolverine, the best there is at what he does. What he does is cut things up.
But I think that was a bit of the irony, not irony, but I think that was a bit of the thing with Wolverine. It's just like, he kind of like, I'm the best there is at what I do, whatever. And it was just like berserk, he just go violent. But
he just cuts things. I'm the best I am at what I do. It's like, is it forgetting?
Is it smelling things out and then cutting them up? But I have no issue with that. But I do have an issue with just like kind of like every mutant is an Omega level mutant, and every mutant is like every character is the best of the best. And I do that.
Oh, this person's popular now. Well, they're an Omega level mutant.
And they have this new power set now, and they can do this, and it's all like world changing power stuff.
Leveling but
it's like with Pokemon when they did the extra evolutions or the fucking these like mega evolutions, and it's just like, come on, we don't need that. Just keep it simple.
Yeah. It doesn't need to be there. Like there's an image from the Marvels 90s X-Men book. Well, not even X-Men book. It's an Alex Ross, Kurt Busiek.
Kurt Busiek. Yeah, Kurt Busiek. Right? I think. Yeah.
Did Kurt Busiek write that? It is the Marvel universe unfolding through the eyes of Ben Rich, a photojournalist, and it has that sort of 60s, 70s, vibe. And there's a shot like the first time they see the mutants, and there's a bit of a mob building around them, and it's 5 people trying to protect each other, who are just a bit fucking weird.
Yeah.
In the midst of a little riot, and someone throws a rock at them, and it's like
even like, look, don't get me wrong, I'm not gonna, I don't know enough about it. Like I said, it's X-Men #1, but you're talking about like
I hate the.
They're talking about Kid Omega, and Kid Omega is one of the most powerful telepaths in the world, and it's just like, just give me a small team. Just give me a team where that guy has knives in his fingers, that guy throws stewing cards, that girl can fly, that girl can control weather. Like, just give me a small team.
Their heist movie,
and like.
They're heist movie Dirty Dozen fucking missions. And also, that's what we want out of them. They're specialists.
And when they have smaller power sets,
it's the Lost Vikings. One can jump, one can climb, one can lift things.
Like, but like when they have smaller power sets and stuff, they can complement each other more, work together more. If someone's just so powerful, they can come in and just like basically just like what's the point of a fight if we know that person can just shut all these people down?
Yeah. Like, what's the point of like even the scale that shit gets to? Sentinels were fucking terrifying, and they were also mental, because like, what do you mean there's a 20-foot robot flying into the fucking city? Like, that was mental even when it was that,
Yeah.
you know, like that was a mental fucking decision to introduce as a potential policing
Yeah.
robot. The fact that they went, well, we have to go bigger. Oh, well, we have to go bigger again.
Mother mold and then a mass mold. But like, to be honest, I don't even mind the idea of the mother mold because, you know, where the Sentinel is made. But then it's like, then where mother mold is made and it's made by master mold. But then you have the nano sentinels and all that kind of stuff. Like, look,
But that's so stupid.
look, this stuff, I'm reading House of X, Power of X. This is a part of it. There's a lot of this in it. I'm enjoying it. But like, that's not to say, like, kind of that I would like to have a more grounded, just like, let's go back to bare bones. But I think, is that just nostalgia? Does everybody want that, you know?
Yeah, it is. We're just
Yeah.
old. What the even giving out about the old stuff. Why the fuck? Like, oh, this is where Sentinels are made. What do you mean this is where Sentinels are made? A giant Sentinel gestating...
I know. That was always a stretch.
I'll tell you where Sentinels are made. A
Yeah,
factory in
yeah.
China.
Yeah, or
Like-
back in Alaska, where you know.
Sure, whatever, either or, but like, it's like,
Well, that's what's going on.
where do they make tanks? That's
I know,
where a
I know,
fucking
I know,
Sentinel is
yeah.
made. That's what we should have fucking seen, rather than a fucking
was-
giant version
yeah.
of a Sentinel sitting in a chair.
It's kind of nice, like when you think about like the original Sentinel I don't know, was it William Stryker? He didn't create the Sentinels. Who created the Sentinels? Trask. Yeah. Like, you know, kind of like the fact that there's just like kind of a military head behind this, like kind of like armory program, like, you know, that's basically all the best humans have to offer against, you know, the mutant threat, in the sense of like just guns. That's all we can do, you know. So the fact that they just had massive robots that were hunters but that was fine. That was fine. They could,
That's
you know.
fine. There was the fucking spider slayers as well. Like, we went through a robot phase.
Yeah.
Look, we're just old. We're just old. Comics should end.
Yeah. Yeah.
Shuffling of the deck is
And I
frustrating.
think even with even just with like this relaunch, I appreciate the fact that they're kind of doing it off of the back of like there is consequences to.
They're doing it to prepare
For MCU.
us for the X-Men.
Oh, I know
info.
that. But I'm just saying, like, I can appreciate the fact that kind of like they're not completely ignoring the aftermath of Krakoa and all that kind of stuff. But at the same time, though, if you're relaunching X-Men, just relaunch them.
I mean, I feel like they did with the Stuart Immonen bringing the 60s. Okay, this is why these things can keep going and doing weird stories, because every so often someone like Stuart Immonen does a 6-issue run and you just look at the art and you go, that
Yeah,
is
of course.
fucking gorgeous. It is so beautiful. Like, I think about like Steve McNiven as sort of a hyper-real penciler, Steve McNiven's work, Darwin Cook's work,
Oh, yeah.
Alex Ross's work, and then somewhere in the middle you get Stuart Immonen, and you're like, God damn, I don't understand. It's gorgeous. Right. Biden or Trump?
God, no.